Okay. All right. Nice. So is it showing us live?
Not yet. I'll refresh it and see what it does here. Yes,
Sweet, sweet.
you are live.
We are live. People of YouTube land, if you're on there and you want to talk to us actually on the deal, just click the link to get to the Zoom. More than happy to have you here and join and ask questions and make it more interactive if you're wanting to be. If you want to talk to us actually on the deal, just click the with that. Here in a few minutes, we'll go all on board with the Bank on Purpose podcast with me and Bill. While we wait, though, Bill, that active income stuff and learning the AI stuff, what do you think overall, man? Here in a few minutes, we'll go all.
I got both these muted over here so they wouldn't echo in the background. The I love it. I think it's a good idea. I think it's going to be well, AI is obviously the wave of the future, so that's going to be a good thing to do. And if anybody's interested in that, we're putting out a product might be taking a look at here shortly that we're trying to put together to help people learn how to do AI prompts. So
Yeah, and the whole purpose of the prompts is to quit getting different answers every time you um, put a question into chat, get more solid answers when you do it too. So when it comes to AI, there's a right way and wrong way to ask the question, and asking the question the right way versus the wrong way is going to determine your answer. And so obviously that's going your if you give it good input, it's going to give you good output. If you give it bad input, it's going to give you bad output. That's just the way it is. So
yeah.
the way that we're going to help is, excuse me, is to help people get um, put the good input in so they get better output out of it.
Also, so you get a good answer as opposed to a vague smart ass answer or something.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like if you went to a comedy show and a big comic was on stage or whatever, and you ask him a silly question, you're probably not going to get a good answer back. You're probably going to get a silly answer back, something that's going to make you look like an idiot. But if you give them a very specific thing about how you do this thing and exactly this as you were this person, you're probably going to get a whole lot more better answer out than what you're expecting, as opposed to it's not going to read your mind and guess at the three words you forgot to put in there.
Oh yeah.
So you don't want to overkill it and make it think too hard, but you want to make it construct its thoughts in a one direction that you want them to go.
Absolutely. The better framework you give it, the better your answer is going to be versus uh, I want to I want you to write me something about dogs versus I want you to write me a 10-page report on why golden retrievers are such a good dog. You're going to get two different qualities of output there. You're going to really like one versus one. They could be all over the page and telling you
Yeah,
50 types of dogs and why they all bark different or something. I don't know.
yeah, you never know what you're going to get. So
Yeah.
the more detail you can give in your question, the better answer you're going to get.
Yeah. And of course that structure actually matters too, telling it what you what you're expecting of it. So I think that's going to be a good product when we bring it out to market and help a lot of people, especially newer people with AI and haven't experimented with it near as much. Not only that, but there's a difference in experimenting with it too versus getting into paid rooms where people have had the done the not only the homework, but paid for the information on how to get the right answer.
which we've done.
Yeah,
So we're bringing that knowledge forward into a product to help other people with a
absolutely.
reasonable price thing. So uh you don't have to put thousands of dollars into somebody else's learning to learn all this stuff. So we can break it out into smaller pieces and whatever you need specifically. But also I was thinking that another one of those deals with the prompt is you gotta it's like if I was asking a layman on the street or a comedian in a nightclub or a professor at the college, you ask them all the same questions, you're going to get three different answers because of where they're coming, their background and what they're thinking. And it's like, okay, the guy on the street doesn't know, what day it's on, and the professor is going to try to tell you, the book learning thing of it, or maybe, or something. And then, you're just gonna, it just depends on, that's why you need to face it and say that this is, as you are this is what I want, and this is how I want it, and this is how I want it in this order, and then so you lay it all out, and that's so it's coming. It'll be out soon. We'll have that out probably, hopefully this week.
Yeah, I think it'll help a lot of people. I mean, I get tired of the phantom answers that I've got from chat, and this seems to really get rid of those because you're giving it where to pull its information and data from too. So
Yeah. Oh, dog is being a pest. He wants in my lap, but he's not. Put him on the footstool instead. He'll get all right. All right, let me call up our let me get this thing off this channel so I can call up our documents.
cool. I'm gonna go ahead and start the recording here, and since we're live on the others, hopefully somebody's joined us. And if not, well, y'all ought to. We'll have it up and so you can see it later.
Welcome aboard. All right, this is episode 11 of podcast Bank on Purpose. I am Bill Pace, Texas Bill Pace, and this here be Jody. You want to tell them a little about yourself, Jody?
Yeah, well, we're here to help you put your money to work safely, securely, and on purpose. We've both been in real estate for a while and both been on the lending side of it, some more than others. In fact, I'm getting into more and more as we go here too. And so giving you the insight of our information on that as well. So, Bill, real quick, what's the difference between a landlord and a lender, man?
The landlord's got to deal with all the tenants and toilets and handy parts and stuff. Or a lender, it's just like the bank. When your toilet backs up, you don't call your Bank America and say, "Hey, my toilet's backed up." You call on the lender. I mean the landlord guys if you're renting. So the lender they're just a bank. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're just gonna get their money.
Yeah, so they just provide the money for the property and gets paid interest without all the hassle and headaches of, like you say, the tenants, toilets, and everything that involves. I like that.
Absolutely.
So why do landlords deal with more stress?
Well, like I said about tenants calling for toilets broken or the pipes broken or the air conditioner's not working or something like that, or the rent is late. So they have to deal with all the little issues and stuff like that where the lender doesn't have to deal with that stuff.
Yeah. Of course, that means time and energy and sometimes unexpected costs that they have to deal with that the bank don't. The bank just sits there or the lender just sits there and they know how much they're getting every month, and the headaches on the landlord to put put up with all the BS, right?
3 o'clock in the morning calls saying my pipes flooding my house or something, yeah. It can be challenging.
Well, is there ever a point when a lender does have to deal with tenants, Bill?
No, they're the lender. It's like the bank. I said they don't deal with that unless they take it back. And if there's some issue where something were to happen to me and I get abducted by aliens or something, then you might take it back when you just turn around and sell it. You wouldn't have to deal with the tenants. There's always people waiting. We buy them at such a deep discount that there's always meat on the bone left over. So if you needed to protect yourself in some way, there's always that other option to sell it.
Yeah, the lenders really only deal with the borrower and the investor who signed the note, not near the headaches to deal with that the landlords has. That's a good point to make there is that's why being a lender is 100% better than being the landlord, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going that way myself sometimes.
So how do banks make money without owning the property, Bill?
They get an interest. They get in their money right. They get their money right out for every month. They get their collect their interest money. So they're getting they're making money on it just sitting in their bank. They don't have to touch anything.
Yeah. Yeah, never fixing toilets and painting walls and or even mowing the grass. That's definitely the way to go at it. And that note to make there is that's how you get to the real passive income. The real passive income in real estate ain't being the landlord necessarily because you still got all the headaches as a landlord, but as the lender, that's true passive income. The only time you got to deal with it is like you say, if I were to get abducted by aliens, then you may have to step in and get the house sold to make more money than you were going to make most likely anyway. And so bonuses but I don't see myself getting abducted by aliens anytime soon. Hadn't happened in the last 50 something years. So
I think it'd be all right for a while.
yeah. So why is lending more predictable than being a landlord, man?
Well, it's as a lender, you're collecting a steady check every time, whether month or quarter or however it's structured. But you're getting a straight check, and you don't have to worry about any of that. So it's a lot better.
Yeah, it's a whole lot easier than dealing with tenants where they're not paying or they're paying late or always got the problem of the car broke down so I can't pay your rent this month, that kind of stuff versus being the landlord that being the lender versus the landlord that your check's coming because the guy that's being the landlord definitely don't want to lose the place. That's his income.
Absolutely.
So who gets paid first on a deal, the landlord or the lender?
Well, lender always gets paid first. You always got to make your mortgage before you pay yourself. So that's always a deal. I mean, if you're the lender, you're just like the mortgage, just like the bank or anybody else. I mean, it's you don't pay the bank, you're gonna lose their whole thing. It's like if you don't make your car payment, they're gonna come repo your car. They're gonna repo your house. So you got to make that before you make anything else. Before I
That's
put food in my mouth, I've already paid those lenders.
yeah. That's why the bank loves being a lender. It's the safest spot to be at. It's not um, generally the landlord's done enough of the right things that they got less to worry about with that than they would have on the renting side. And then on the renting side, you have all the other headaches like we talked about too. So I think the banks have it a little bit more figured out. I was just, we were just at that event in Salt Lake and whatnot, and walking back toward the hotel, looking at all the skyscrapers there in Salt Lake City, and most of them had banks names up on the side of those big tall skyscrapers. It doesn't it isn't no wonder that they're making money doing this because they've got the biggest buildings and prettiest buildings in the areas that driving any town, it's going to be one of the best nice looking building, and in that case the tallest looking buildings were the bank buildings in town, and obviously they're doing something right by lending.
Because they want the prettiest buildings because they want you to put your money in their account. So they can do exactly what we're trying to teach you to do.
Yeah, yeah, because that's literally what they
That's,
do is
that's literally what they're doing. Taking your
we
money and reinvesting it.
yeah, they're taking your money. They get to create for every $1 you lend them, they can create up to 10. Now that would be over leveraging themselves, so most of them ain't going to do that. But still, most of them do it 60 to 80%. So $6 to $8 on every dollar you have sitting there. They're giving you chump change of less than 1% most of the time, while they go out and collect 7% times their eight. Let's say they're doing it, at a conservative amount at 60% leveraged. They're loaning $6 out for every one that you've got in there, and they're getting 7% interest on that. So basically, what is that? 42% interest on your dollar that they're giving you less than 1% interest on. That's pretty smart move. That's why they're the biggest buildings in town, though.
That's right. They want to make, oh, look at us, come put your money here.
So, can lending provide?
Uh-oh, you froze. I believe what he was going to say is, can lending provide a steady monthly income? Or am I frozen? Did I freeze or you freeze? One of us froze. Okay. So it was, can lending provide a steady monthly income like rent?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, many loans pay monthly interest just like rent checks. The difference is obviously no 2 a.m. calls with the plumbing backed up, or hey, the dog did something and now you got a water leak here, or something stupid. Like, there's always something stupid as a landlord. You ain't got to worry about that as a lender.
Yeah. So what's the risk between the two roles? What's the risk difference?
Well, the biggest one for landlords, they're losing their money on repairs, vacancies, damages, that kind of stuff. All that stuff has to be calculated in before they know where their profit is and whatnot. On a lender, though, they're secured by the property and they don't face those headaches. It's literally when you set up the deal, you know exactly how much money you're going to make on it, right from the get-go. And that's the bonus to the lending side versus the landlord side. The landlord, they're taking on a lot more risk than the lender is.
And
So,
why should someone consider being a lender over a landlord? So kind of
well,
already expected that already, but we'll go over
yeah,
again.
like I said, that's truly passive income there. That's if you're being the landlord, that's more of an active income. You're having to do something for it. Not only that, but chances are, if you're being the landlord, you got more than one house you're dealing with, and you're trying to get more done, that kind of stuff. Versus the lending, you're literally, it's just passive income. It's just, yeah, I'll give you this. You're giving me this, and then at this point in time, I get my money back on top of all the money you gave me too. It's just
Yeah,
much better if you ask me.
absolutely. So if you're tired of fixing toilets, and maybe it's time to think like a bank. So,
Yep, be the lender, not the landlord. Of course, get paid first without all the stress.
join us in our Dallas Bank on Purpose 2-day event that's be coming soon.
We'll show you how to set up deals, protect your money, and grow it without ever touching a plunger.
All right, align your money with your purpose of Bank on Purpose.
Go ahead and DM us the word event to grab your seat at the event that's coming soon. Y'all have a great one, and we will see you next time on Bank on Purpose.
This is Jody Ogden and Bill Pace, Texas Bill Pace. Y'all have a great day.
Have a great one.